Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Troy. Just checking in. It's been like 2 months. I definitely didn't want to be the person that recorded one video saying it was going to be a weekly thing, daily thing, and then never see another video again. But that's exactly what I turned into. But I was thinking about every week and every day. So it's not a situation where I was like, well, I lost interest, so I forgot about it. I was just like every single Friday, like something came up. And even yesterday, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make a go of it. Something came up yesterday too, which I'm gonna talk about today. But the main thing is until you give up for good, you're not done yet. So whatever, can't change the past. So I actually left work a little bit early today, which I'll get into in a bit. But main thing is I have a hybrid job, so it's really one of those deals where like I can go in the office 3 days. Well, I'm supposed to go in the office 3 days a week, work from home 2 days, or I can go out all 5 days. They don't care, but main thing is I'm supposed to go in 3 days a week. If it's a holiday weekend, like a 4-day work week, there's really nothing clarified. So like, let's say like, Memorial Day weekend, I only work Tuesday through Friday. Am I supposed to go in the office 3 days and work from home one, or go in the office 2 days and work from home two? No one ever said anything, so I think I'll do what's best for me and make that 2 days in the office, 2 days at home. But the nice thing about working in the office on Fridays, because I was working from home on Fridays, because everybody else does, but if you work from the office on Fridays, no one else is there, so you can just, I want to say you can chill, but like it's a lot less pressure environment, and like I shouldn't have to, but sometimes I feel like I need to like show I'm working, or like just like talk to people about random stuff, just be like, oh look, I'm working, even though I am working. Like today I was just working on some stuff that I probably should be automating, but I'm gonna learn about that later. So anyway, the reason why, actually, before I get into it, another thing I want to mention is, it would be nice if I was doing this regularly, and that is the intention. Talk is cheap though, so we'll see when the next video for this is. It hopefully should be Monday, but like I said, talk is cheap, so we'll find out. But I'm hoping that, maybe somebody's going to see this 5 years from now after I have like 5 years worth of videos, and they'll be like, oh, why are your first couple of videos so bad? And it's because I am just using my phone. I don't have a camera. I don't have lighting. I do have a cat, but I don't have lighting. And then, I am actually looking to invest in that kind of stuff. And, I could have just buy it all now, but I think it'd be important to like actually start like just recording on a normal basis rather than, buying all the stuff and then doing nothing. And then, you're like, okay, I wasted a bunch of money. So I'm going to earn this. I think that's where I'm putting it. I'm just going to make sure I keep, putting out content, talking about my career, aspirations, just, being the type of person I am and working in a corporate environment, especially in IT. Like it's interesting. So yeah, that stuff will all be coming hopefully in the next month or two, like, a little bit by little. So one of the deals is like, the way my job is, I'm salary, but at the same time, stuff comes up after hours. Sometimes it's stuff I know about already. Sometimes it's like, okay, well, stuff happens last minute. So I had a phone call with one of our sites, like kind of on the other side of the world. I don't want to, I mean, it's not a big deal if I would tell you like exactly where it is, but I just like to play it safe when it comes to like, confidential in my company, even though like, it's like, you can figure out where I work just by like Googling or looking on LinkedIn. But we had one of our sites, that's my cat, by the way, where they're having some issues, and mainly like performance, like, and no packet loss when we pinged all the devices. Speed tests were a little bit poor, like wireless, but wired, they were fine. So like, I thought it was an internal issue, but I worked with my teammates, and we did this thing called MTR testing, which is my trace route. It's not available for Windows, but you can use it on Linux, and it's like a ping test where you can kind of ping a destination, and you're gonna get all your responses back, but it also runs a trace route at the same time. So it's like a ping and a trace route merged together. I don't know why Windows doesn't have this, or I think you might have to download some software. I don't know, but I know on Linux you can just like, get it from the command line. I think it's sudo apt-get space install, and I think it's just MTR. It used to stand for something else, or like the guy's name, I think, but now it's just my trace route. So yeah, definitely keep it in mind, especially if somebody's complaining about performance issues and you're like, I don't see it, like with any of my tests. That's another test you can use in your arsenal. So, we got a technician out there, and naturally the issue kind of fixed itself as soon as we, had contracted people there. But, technician that we hired was a little bit late, like 3 hours, but, and then we had two technicians. Like one was there and I'm running some tests and, it was a whole kerfuffle, but, it got fixed. And it's nice because I'm going on vacation soon. And I really didn't want that to kind of be hanging over my head. Actually, that kind of leads to my next topic because I was talking to my wife. I was like, I don't know who's doing my work when I'm on vacation. She's like, you should talk to your boss about that. I'm like, I don't feel like it. And then I'm like, you know what? I should probably listen to you once in a while. So, I messaged my boss. Like, oh, yeah, we're going to write a message out about, like, who's going to be my responsibility. I haven't seen it yet. No big deal. Because I'm going to make sure I talk to this person, my boss, and like 2 other people next week. I think one thing that, I'm working on, and I'm getting a lot better at it, as soon as you identify, I'm the type of person, when I identify a problem, I think it gets better immediately, as opposed to, have to work on it. So, like, I feel like sometimes it's like, oh, I ask somebody a question and maybe they don't get back to me, like, I'm busy, I'll get back to you. And I'm just like, I kind of just let it go. And sometimes, you can't really be too concerned about, harassing people, like pestering people. So, like, it's like the thing about who's doing, my job responsibilities while I'm on vacation, because I'm not going to bring my work laptop with me on vacation. I'll probably bring my work phone, but I can't really do a ton with that. I mean, I can maybe answer a quick question, but it's not going to be, I'm going to be, looking at like switches and routers for like an hour, like because of troubleshooting. So, I'm going to talk to my boss about that and just, make sure that, if you need something, just got to keep pestering people. You don't want to be rude about it, but at the same time, set up, how would I say, set up like some sort of like a pattern for like, okay, are you going to ask this person a question like once a week until they get back to you, or maybe once a day, depending on severity. And it's just, and plus, like, I always just try to do things through email. Like, I don't mind doing the phone, I don't mind doing in person, but, when you do phone or in person, it is very much a situation where if there's any type of miscommunication or somebody says they're going to do something, they don't do it, whether they forgot or chose not to do it anymore, it really becomes an issue of like, they said, you said, and, maybe you can find some sort of way to leverage it. But if somebody's like, if 2 different people say have 2 different ways of remembering something that happened, even if you think that other person's lying, if you can't prove it, depending on the situation, you're probably just going to be, stuck. So if you have email or text or anything, like, especially when I'm dealing with something where it's like, hey, as they always say, CYA, I try to do my official business through email at all times as much as possible. And it's not a situation where I feel like somebody's trying to mislead me. It's just like, hey, why would I even want to put that person through the same predicament that I might be going through if we do have a disagreement? Because, while, sometimes people can be malicious, sometimes they just make mistakes, or maybe I'm making mistakes. So, like, if somebody comes up to me and we're like having a debate and it's like, okay, what did we say? And then it's like, there's a disagreement on that. I think it's just better to have the email trail, because if I'm wrong, okay, I should own up to it, and I'll take responsibility. It's like, no harm, no foul. Let's just move on. But if I'm right, I like to at least be able to say, hey, listen, I really tried to make sure that we did things the way we expected. But I like to have that paper trail, maybe because I'm petty too, because I just hate being wrong when I can avoid it. It's a flaw. As far as work, the only other thing I've been working on is I've been doing a little PowerShell scripting. Not looking for another job, but so it's nice to put that on your resume. You've done some PowerShell scripting, like a little bit more in depth. Working on a project to migrate our DHCP servers to the cloud, and then on top of that, set up DHCP failovers. So set it up in another way. So that's gonna be great. And I'm just reading through everything, and it seems very sensible. And I think it's important to remember, unless you're doing something like never been done before, somebody's probably done it before, somebody can probably help you. So it's been a really good project so far. I'm enjoying it, and I always like to play it safe. I don't want to break production, but everything's going really well so far. And it's like I said, if you feel like, hey, you can do something, just go ahead and do it. Do not be afraid. And I think I told my coworkers at my last job before I left, if you want something from your career, you got to go for it. And I use this phrase, which I never used before, which is fortune favors the bold. And, it just means like, hey, if you're going to be bold, you're going to go for things, those are the what you're not going to get anywhere if you don't go for it. So same thing, like, when this whole DHCP thing got brought up to me, like, we were just talking meeting, my coworkers, and they're like, hey, Troy, why don't you take care of this? I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I guess I'm going to figure it out, or I'm not. So fortune favors the bold. Anyway, so that's it for me. Main thing is, we might want to make this a little bit nicer, add some music, some graphics. Maybe if I talk about MTR, you're actually going to see it in action instead of me talking about it. So just a matter of being committed, and I am. So I hope you guys have a great weekend, and we will talk soon. Bye.